Om Sadashivasamārambhām
Om Sadashivasamārambhām
Shankaracharya Madhyamām Asmadacharya Paryantām Vande Guru Paramparām Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devāः
Om Bhadram
Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatrāः Thirairangaistuštuvāgumsastanubhih Vyashema devahitam yadāyuh Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravāः Swasti nः Pūषा Vishvavedaः Swasti nastārkṣyo Arishtanemih Swasti no Brihaspatirdadhātu Om Shanti Shanti Shantiः
Om Shanti Shanti.
Parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamayat nastyakritah kritena tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtham
Where are we? What's the phone about?
1 to 12. So we were looking at this verse only even last week also, the week before also, because this is a very, very important verse in this Upanishad. So this verse talks about a mumukshu. So how one becomes a mumukshu? How one becomes a mumukshu? By examining, parikshya. So having examined what? Lokan. Lokan here is your own experiences. Lokyate iti lokaha. It can also mean all these different lokas like Buhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha, Mahaha. Different Swarga lokas are talked about. You can also take as those lokas also. And what type of loka, whether all the experiences you undergo in this world and in this life, or whatever experiences you want to undergo in some other world, in some other life, okay, all of them are accumulated by karma. So karma chitan, those which are obtained by karma as karma phala. So here in this life we are doing so many different karma and we want to enjoy the karma phala. That is the main idea. And we also do some karma so that we gain enough punya and we can go, even after this life, we can go to a nice loka, Swarga loka, and enjoy there also. So we want to have pleasure in this life, and we also want to have similar pleasure or even better hereafter also. So that's why we also do a lot of karma, which may be difficult to do right now, because doing all this karma is not very easy. Doing Agnihotra, the karma you are supposed to do, and not just one day, over a period of time, almost your entire life. And different upasana also you have to do later on. Then only you will go to even better loka. Okay. So this karma and upasana phala will take you to Swarga loka, and there you can enjoy. But in all these things, what is the problem? That's what you are examining. In fact, your examination shows you that there are some issues. What are all those issues? Whether the karma phala which we attain in this world and in this life, or the karma phala which we want to enjoy later in Swarga, all of them are anitya. Okay, they are not going to give you satisfaction or pleasure forever. From our own experiences, we know that whatever we enjoy today, we don't enjoy it in the same manner after 10 days. Okay, so similarly, once we attain something, it is no more the same thing. It's not that great anymore. Our sights are now on something else. So that's how this whole samsara keeps on going. We move from one karma phala to another karma phala, and it keeps going on and on until you examine it, until you pause and take a step back and look at all these things and question yourself, is it what really I am seeking? Because most of the life which are lived by most of the people, in fact, they are all living without doing any analysis of their own lives and the goals of their lives, what they really want. These things many people are not really analyzing. They just take it for granted. So it's all avichara siddha, as we say it. So without proper vichara, people are living their lives and struggling also to attain so many different things. But if we take a step back and analyze what is it that we really want, so you can see that initially there is a desire for pleasure. But the desire for pleasure, from that what it happens, it then turns into a desire for having freedom from being a wanting person. Because this desire for pleasure also only shows that you are limited in terms of your enjoyment. What I can enjoy is limited. In fact, we have a saying that you have to do annadana all the time. It's a very popular kind of dana. So why this annadana is supposed to be very shrestha, okay, very good, is why? Because food alone, one fellow, how much ever you give, they can't keep on eating it, correct? They have to say enough. So you can satisfy anybody, you can satisfy by doing annadana, because they can't eat after some time. So there is a limit. But certain other things you give the human being, then they will never say no. You keep on giving, they will say, okay, keep more, give me more, give me more. But this food means they have to say alam. They can't have more than whatever a certain quantity, let us say. So annadana is supposed to be one of the best dana. Like that, what we see from this, even eating food, is what we have a certain limitation in terms of what we can enjoy. whether even having pleasure there is a limitation. And there are, again we are limited by our own senses and the state of our mind. So there are all these limitations are there. So what I really seek is freedom from all these limitations. That's what I really seek. When I say I want to be happy forever, means basically I want to be free from being subjected to unhappiness, from sorrow. I want freedom from sorrow, sadness, boredom. All these different things I want to be free from. So what I really want is freedom. So this is the understanding you have to get by doing your examination. So the examination is the main thing here, and the examination has to lead you to a certain cognitive change. Okay. So instead of seeking karma phala in itself, now you understand that what I really want is freedom from different types of limitations. Okay, so because if I seek some particular thing, that is because I think I am limited in some way. So what I really want is not that particular thing, but really I want to be free from the underlying limitation which I see in myself. So the problem is centered on me. I being a limited being is the problem. The solution also has to be centered on me. Solution is not acquiring more and more things. So that is the misconception actually, that by gaining something we think that we will be free from some limitation, but even that is not permanent. Maybe for some time you don't look upon yourself as a limited wanting person and you may even feel happy during that period, but again you look upon yourself as being limited from some other standpoint, and then you have to go and seek something else. So this is the samsara we are talking about. So when you examine your own life, then you come to an understanding that what I really want is freedom from all these limitations. This is the understanding you have to have. So once you are now clear that what I require is freedom, moksha. So freedom is nothing but moksha. Then we look at all the karma phala from that standard, whether the karma phala can give me this moksha or not. And if you look at it, you will see that karma phala can never give you moksha, because what I am seeking is freedom from all limitation, and karma phala is of only 4 types are there. So utpadyam means you are creating something new, like you create a pot from clay, or we have apyam. Apyam means you go and reach some place or you obtain something. Okay, that is called apya. Or samskarya. Samskarya means what? You purify something. You had a whatever, let us say silver spoon, let us say. Then if you don't use it for 2 days, it will become black. Then again you have to polish it and make it nice and shining. Again, if you don't use it for 2-3 days, it will again become black. Again you have to polish it. But you can polish it, purify it, okay, and make it like as though it is new and good. That is called samskarya. Then vikarya. Vikarya means modification, like your milk becoming curd, let us say. Now karma phala is only of these 4 types in general, and none of these things can really give me moksha, because moksha means what I am really seeking is freedom from being limited. All kinds of limitation means what I am really seeking is the limitless. The limitless cannot be created. If it is really limitless, it has to be already there, because the limitless transcends time also. So limitless has to be there, it is there, it will be there forever. That's why it is limitless, correct? It has to be limitless with reference to time. And again, you cannot reach it anywhere because it transcends space also. It is here, it is there, it is even beyond the black hole and whatever you can conceive of, correct? Limitless pervades everything. So you can't reach it specially. You should already be there, in fact. So it's not something which you can create. It's not something which you can reach by going somewhere. Like going to Vaikuntha, you will find limitless. Or you go to Golok Brindavan, you will find limitless. You can't say that. If it is limitless, it has to be there right here. Why should I go anywhere? It has to pervade everything. Similarly, what about purifying? Limitless cannot be dirtied by anything. It is asanga also. It's not touched. It cannot be touched by anything. It cannot be pervaded by anything. So something else cannot dirty the limitless. So there is no question of samskarya also, or vikarya. It doesn't modify. It doesn't change. If it starts changing, then it will be subjected to time. It won't be limitless anymore. So what we seek as the limitless cannot be the result of any action. Okay. So that's what is told here. Nasti akritaha kritena. Akritaha here is the limitless or moksha. So the limitless moksha cannot be created. It is akritaha. It is not a karma phala. It cannot be a karma phala. So you cannot have it by any karma. Na kritena. So nasti kritena. Akritaha kritena nasti. That which is not a karma phala, it cannot be obtained by doing any karma. That is the understanding you have to come to. As a mumukshuhu, as the one who is desirous of moksha, having examined your own seeking, what you are really seeking, and then keeping that as a standard, that I am seeking freedom from all limitations, and that really means that I am seeking the limitless. And if I want freedom from all limitations, karma cannot be the means for that, because karma phala cannot give me moksha. This is the understanding one has to come to. Is that clear? If you understand that, automatically you will have commitment only towards this moksha, correct? Your commitment is not towards any karma phala. Your commitment is only towards moksha. So with reference to the karma phala, you will have dispassion automatically, because that's not what I really seek. So this cognitive change is what we are talking about here, born out of a certain discrimination, certain analysis, certain examination, and this cognitive change will automatically lead you to having this dispassion, objectivity, I will say, with reference to karma phala, because whatever we seek as an individual in this life are all karma phala only. But if you understand that karma phala is not going to be the solution for your fundamental problem, then your commitment is not towards karma phala. Your commitment only is towards moksha. Then what will give me moksha? If karma is not going to give me moksha, what is the other option? Now, limitless itself cannot be created newly, means it is already there. If limitless is already there, then why I do not know it? I am not feeling it. Means then you understand that it is a problem of ignorance. So you are not familiar with yourself. You have self-ignorance. And if ignorance is the problem, there can be only one solution. What is that solution? The solution is knowledge. So wherever ignorance is the problem, karma cannot be a solution. Only knowledge can be a solution. For example, I put my spec like this and I keep searching all over the place. Now already I am the person with the specs, correct? I don't have to become the person with the spec. I am already the person who has the spectacles, right, on my head. But somehow I have forgotten that I am ignorant about this fact. So what happens? I keep searching it all over my home, let us say. Now the seeker, the problem here is what? The seeker and the sought are one and the same. But the very act of seeking actually makes you look at all other places except yourself. That is the problem. So somebody has to come and say, hey, what is this? You have your specs right on your head. Then you say, ah, yeah, I have got my specs. So here, you don't have to stand upside down or anything, or sit in Padmasana for 10 hours and do meditation. Then only you will become the one with the spectacles. It's not like that, correct? It's purely a question of knowledge, gaining knowledge that you are already having the specs. So if ignorance is the problem, what is the solution? The only solution is knowledge. And what is knowledge? Knowledge is pramana phalam. Understand that. So your commitment is no more for karma phala. Your commitment is for pramana phala. Pramana phala is the main thing. Because knowledge is prama, and prama can only be had by operating a valid means of knowledge. And in this case, what is that valid means of knowledge? To know myself, in fact, there is only one means of knowledge, which is the Vedanta. Because all other pramana are operated by me. Okay? Like Pratyaksha, Anumana. These pramana do not have any access to my reality. What is my real nature? These things cannot be revealed either by Pratyaksha or different types of Anumana, Upamana and all these other means of knowledge. The only means of knowledge which can reveal my nature, my true nature, is the Veda. Veda is Shabda Pramana. So Veda is in the form of words. And in fact we call it Shabda Darpanam. It is like a mirror. It is a mirror made up of words. Understand that. So when you go to the Veda, the words of the Veda are actually showing your own nature to yourself. Because if the subject has to know itself, let us say your eye wants to see itself. How can it see? Eyes can see everything else in the world, okay? But if it wants to see itself, what should it do? It has to go and stand in front of a mirror, correct? There is no other way. If the subject has to know oneself, we have to go to a pramana which reflects our very nature, correct? So for normal eyes, which are physical organs, you can go and stand in front of a mirror, and mirror will show how your eyes are, whether it is black, blue, brown, whatever. Because even though eyes can see, they cannot see themselves. The subject cannot objectify itself, correct? So if the nature of the subject has to be known, The subject has no way of knowing other than going to the Shabda Pramana. This is something you have to be very clear. So there has to be a Pramana which will reveal your nature. And in this case, that Pramana is the Veda. So you have to look upon the Veda as the Pramana which is going to reveal your true nature. And that Pramana Phala only you are seeking. Because if what you are seeking is the limitless, there are only two scenarios. Either you are limited and that is your nature and you cannot do anything about it, or since you are instinctively struggling to overcome all limitations, we can conclude that our real nature is really limitless. Our nature is limitlessness. But we do not know that. So it becomes a problem of self-ignorance. That means I require self-knowledge, and self-knowledge cannot be given by any other pramana, because here it is like the subject wants to know itself. The subject has no way of objectifying itself and knowing, and that has to be done by a pramana like Veda. Veda is the pramana for that. It is the Shabda pramana. It is Shabda Darpana, because it is like a mirror which shows your nature to yourself. But the problem is, Shabda Pramana, who will operate the Shabda Pramana for me? Because it is made up of words, and not only that, there is a certain methodology involved, okay, in teaching this knowledge. It's not that you open some paperback book and you can read it and you will understand everything. It's not that simple. Because here what we are trying to know is the very nature of the subject. The subject matter itself is very subtle. We all know ourselves, correct? If I ask you, are you there? You don't require a pramana to establish your own existence. Understand that. The Atma, self, is self-existent and also self-luminous. Are you there means you will say I am, correct? To know I am, you don't have to use your eyes or your ears or any sense organ, or you don't have to do any any kind of analogy. Since I am married, I have to be there or something like that. There is no need of any logic. Okay, inference also is not required. So I am, that knowledge everybody has. You don't require any pramana for that. Then where is the problem? I am so and so is the problem. I am Hari. I am Shalini, whatever. This is the problem. As soon as you add something there, then the individual is there, correct? I am so and so individual. All your problems are really the problem of the individual. In fact, the individuality itself is the problem. When you are in deep sleep, there is no individuality, there is no problem. You may have 1,000 different problems, but as soon as you go to sleep, you don't have any problem, because problems go away along with the individuality. You can enjoy deep sleep. Then again when you wake up, you identify yourself with the individual. And again all the individual's problems are your problems. And life goes on. So we have to in fact really analyze what is the nature of this individual. Whether the individuality of the self itself, is it real or not? That has to be analyzed. Now these things are not very simple. It's a subtle subject matter, and Vedanta alone is revealing to us our true nature. The words of the Vedas, handled in a proper manner, reveals to us our own nature. So what I really seek is the pramana phala. So there has to be a pramana vyapara, there has to be an empirical transaction involving this means of knowledge made up of words. And since it is made up of words, it's not an automatic pramana like your nose or ear, correct? Because some sound is there means most probably your ear will pick up automatically. Or some smell is there, particularly bad smell, your nose will pick it up immediately. In spite of you willing not to smell it, your nose will pick it up. So, sense perception is mostly automatic. But Shabda Pramana, the words of the Veda, they are not an automatic Pramana. You have to go and read it. It's a deliberate Pramana. In fact, more than reading, you have to go and listen, because the Vedic injunction is what? Atma va are drashtavyaha. So the Atma has to be known. That is clear because by analyzing our fundamental problem, and that moksha means what? It is freedom from all limitations, and that freedom from all limitation is in the form of this limitless being, and that limitlessness has to be only gained in terms of knowledge. This much understanding if you have, then you become a jignasu. From being a mumukshu, you have transitioned, you have metamorphosed into being a jignasu. Now you are a seeker of knowledge. So, and this knowledge is only given by this Veda. And Veda also confirms that. What Veda says? Atma va are drashtavyaha. So you have to see this Atma, the real nature of yourself, you have to know. And how do we know that? Then the Upanishad itself says, Srotavyaha, you have to listen. So you have to listen to a teacher, you have to listen to the Veda from a teacher, and that is the main thing. In fact, Shravanam. Shravanam is the main thing in knowing Atma. Then there are also Mantavyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha, like this. Other injunctions are there. In fact, it's not really an injunction, but it is there grammatically at least. It says you have to know this Atma, you have to listen to the Atma, you should then do manana on this Atma, correct? The nature of this Atma. You should also do nididhyasana about this Atma. Like this, there are Vakya in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It says Atma vare shrotavyaha mantavyaha nididhyasitavyaha. So, to do this, then what do I do? So this is where, in fact, in the Mundaka Bhashya, Shankara says, Shastrajñopi Atmanveshanam Swatantriyena na kuryat. Even though you know Shastra, understand, in olden days most people may have done Vedadhyanam. They may have known better Sanskrit than what we know today. So they had the language. They have already done Adhyayana of the Veda also. That means they have at least memorized the different Upanishads. But still, you should not do this vichara into the Atma Tattva independently. Like this, there is a saying. Because there are many things which can confuse you. In fact, even to teach you one single thing, the teacher has to have the knowledge of the entire Shastra. Then only the one particular thing can be taught in the proper context. Otherwise, things may seem contradictory. Seemingly contradictory statements are there. Many different statements are there. Okay. So, Vakyaha Bahavaha, like this also people say. So there are many statements are there, and some of them seemingly contradictory, and you can get lost, you can get confused. So Shankara says, but Shankara quotes, I would say, in his Bhashya, even though you are a Shastrajnaha, so here Shastrajnaha means you have done Vedadhyayanam, you have knowledge of Sanskrit, you have knowledge of even some other Shastra, let us say Nyaya, but still you should not do Atma Vichara yourself. Swatantriyena Atmanveshanam na kurya. Why? Because you may get confused, you may have wrong notions, and you may go astray. Because what the subject matter itself is subtle. It has to be properly handled by a person who knows the methodology to teach. Understand that. It's not enough that one person knows something. Knowing something is one thing. Having the ability to communicate what you know to the other is another ability. It's a different ability. So both have to be there in the teacher. Only such a teacher can actually be a effective teacher. Understand that. So a teacher should know, and the teacher should have the ability to communicate what one knows properly through words, because words carry their own baggage. Every word carries its own baggage. So the words have to be handled properly. Here it is Shabda Pramana, deliberate Pramana, and whatever the Shabda Pramana reveals, it has to be revealed properly. That's why one important thing is, when I talk to you in the class, I am very careful about the words which I use. In fact, if I am not using a particular word, that means there is a reason for that. I don't even want you to think in the word which I am not using. In your own thinking also, please try to use the words which I am using in the class. If I am avoiding certain words, means there is some misconception about those words. Some baggage is there with those words. Some other cultural connotations are there with those words, so I am not using it. So that is something you have to be aware of. So it's not that I am placing some limitation or restriction, but for your own understanding I am saying, if you have to be clear about what I am conveying to you, even in your own thought, because after the class also you may be thinking about whatever you have listened to in the class, please do not bring in other words which I am not using in the class. Then most probably you will get confused. So because words are very important here, the means of knowledge itself is operating only through the words. So the word which I am using, the same word you have to understand in the same meaning in which I am understanding already. Then only the teaching will be effective. Otherwise, some confusion can enter, misconceptions can be there, vagueness can be there. Of course, all these things we will address. It's not that we are not going to address your doubts, your vagueness, your habitual tendencies. All these things we will be addressing as we go ahead. But just a note is that be careful about the words which you use in your own thinking also. That is something you have to keep in your mind. So here, since I know that I want knowledge about myself and that is the solution I am seeking, what should I do now? So tad vijnanartham saha. So here saha means who is this person? Saha here means that person who has purushartha nishtaya, correct? One who has done the pariksha. So the one who has examined all his experiences, different lokas, and one who has understood the limitations of karma phala, and the one who has understood that moksha is really not karma phala but it is pramana phala, it is in the form of knowledge, and the one who has now become a jignasu from being just a mumukshu. In fact, this is one of the biggest steps you have to take. It's like a quantum jump, because all mumukshus, they don't become jignasu. In fact, if you see the Shankara Bhashya, lot of arguments, the Purva Pakshis are all karma kanda people, are what we call as jnana karma samuchayavadi. Those who say that you have to gain knowledge, okay, but still you have to do karma to gain moksha. So all arguments of Shankara are against people who say that, people who either say karma itself is the supreme, or those who say that you can gain knowledge but still you have to do some karma, manasam karma at least, because they take all Upanishad Vakya as some kind of a upasana. So aham brahmasmi means you do upasana, that aham brahmasmi iti upasitavya. You do upasana, that I am Brahman. It's not about knowledge for them. The knowledge is only up to the point that you learn this upasana from the Upanishad, and then you have to sit and do it. You have to keep on doing upasana, aham Brahma, like that, let us say. So like this, there are jnana karma samuchaya. Samuchaya means they say that both jnana and karma together bring this moksha as the phalam. So moksha is not just jnana phala, but it is jnana karma samuchaya phala. So there are a lot of people like it. In fact, most modern Vedantins are also like that. They say that Veda is just some guide. You read the Veda and then go and sit under some tree or do some yoga or do meditation. So this is the kind of misconception which is even now going on. That's all like jnana karma samuchaya only. And Shankara has been arguing against this very vehemently in many places, not in just one Upanishad. In fact, in many places in Bhagavad Gita, in Brahma Sutra Bhashya, in other major Upanishad Bhashya, Shankara's one of the main Purva Pakshin or opponent is this Jnana Karma Samuchaya Vadi. So we have to understand that this understanding that what I am speaking is knowledge, and knowledge itself is moksha, correct? That understanding you have to have. Because when I lost my specs, correct, and I am ignorant, then what else should I know? Or what else should I do? After knowing that I have the specs, should I have to do anything else? Because here, even Shankara himself in the Mundakopanishad also he says, it is siddhasya sadhyam. Okay. The Atma is not something you have to create newly, correct? Atma is already there. Atma is self-existent, self-revealing. The only problem is you know yourself as a wanting, limited person, but the vision of the Shruti is that you are already the limitless. Your nature is already Shuddha Mukta Swabhavaha. There is no bandha. All bondage is only ignorance. You think you are bound. You think you are a wanting person. You think you are limited. All these things are only wrong thinking. And what you require is the right thinking. So what you need is knowledge. And knowledge itself is moksha. There is no need to do anything more. Understand this. There is no gap between attaining knowledge and attaining moksha. That's what we call in the tradition as sadhyo muktihi. Sadhyo muktihi means what? The moksha is immediate. As soon as you have knowledge, you have moksha. There is no gap. Because knowledge alone is moksha. Because the problem is one of ignorance. And once ignorance is destroyed by knowledge, what is left is yourself as you are, as the limitless. And that is moksha. You don't have to do anything after knowing. So this is a very important point all of you should understand. So moksha is jnana phala, pramana phala. And to gain this knowledge, after achieving this Purushartha Nishchaya, correct? A person who knows what he or she really wants, who understands one's fundamental problem, and who now understands that what is really required is knowledge, has to approach a guru, correct? Tad vijnanartham saha. Okay, saha here is the one who has had this Purushartha Nishchaya. Gurumeva abhigachet. So he has to approach a guru. Okay, how? Because you have to approach a guru with the right attitude. Attitude is very important. Shraddha also we call, correct? Shraddhavan labate jnanam, Bhagavan says. Okay, Chandogya also says Acharyavan Purusho Veda. So you have to go to the Acharya with a proper attitude, with Shraddha. You should not go to the Acharya thinking that you know everything, to find fault with the Acharya. See, all Acharyas also are individuals, correct? So, as an individual, everybody will have faults. Understand this. When you go to a guru, you are going to the guru to learn Vedanta, to know this Brahma Vidya. And if that guru is able to teach you this Brahma Vidya properly, that is the main thing you have to see. As an individual, everybody has faults. At least if one person, if the guru does good to one person, another person maybe even due to jealousy will think this guru is no good because he is helping this useless fellow. How can he do that? I am more more qualified. Like this, so many problems can come. Understand this. In fact, 100% of the people can never be positive about anybody. Even if 50% of the people are thinking good about you, that itself is a great thing. Because other 50% may be jealous of this 50% with whom you are having good relationship, or with or whatever, to whom you are helping. So like this, as an individual, we are not talking about here. The guru here is the one who is teaching you. So what kind of a guru and how you have to approach the guru? These two things are very, very important to understand. Now, how do I approach the guru? Samitpanihi. Saha samitpanihi gurumeva abhigacche. So samitpanihi means what? You are carrying twigs in your hands. Now, in those days, all these rishis and gurus were all big. They had yagashala. They themselves are doing different karma, and they had this yagashala where it was happening every day, correct? That means these twigs are all they are the indhana, correct? They are the fuel to be used in the Gurukulam. So that means you are showing your commitment to the Guru, that you are ready to do seva to the Guru. You are ready to go and live with the Guru and undergo this teaching with the right attitude. So samitpanihi means you go ready to do seva to your Guru. That is the meaning. In fact, even in Bhagavad Gita there is a verse, correct? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, like this. Upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Like this, there is a verse. So tadvidhi, know this Brahman. How? Pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Bhagavan. So here sevaya means what? You are ready to do seva to the Guru. You are committed to the knowledge. That means you are ready to do anything the Guru says. Of course, the Guru also is not going to manipulate you, correct? Guru should not be a manipulative person and mislead you or something, and or even like they should not be using your Shraddha to their own advantage. So you should also be careful that way, because the spiritual market, I would say, is also buyers beware, even in the spiritual market. But still, you should have Shraddha in the words of your Guru and the Shastra. The Shraddha here is mainly with reference to your own understanding. If you don't understand something in the beginning, at least you should give the benefit of the doubt to the Shastra and the Guru. That is the Shraddha here. It doesn't mean that you have to be blindly follow, particularly if you think that something is manipulative and all that, you should take care. But of course, a proper Guru does not need to feel big or great by manipulating anybody. Understand that. The one who understands the vision of the Veda understands oneself as the limitless. Such a person doesn't have any pressure to manipulate somebody else and feel big or anything. Only small egos require to control others or manipulate others and feel good about it by wielding some power or whatever. A guru does not have to manipulate his Shishya and feel good about it. The guru is already feeling good about who he is or who she is. And from their own fullness only the teaching also should flow. It's not from any lack. So that is a very important thing. In fact, that is particularly addressed by this word Brahmanishtam here. So there are two words here describing the Guru also. So Shrotriyam, Brahmanishtam. Okay, the word Samitpanihi tells the attitude of the student. That the student has to be ready to serve the Guru and have Shraddha in the Guru. So you approach the Guru in a proper manner, with a proper attitude. That is shown by the word Samitpanihi. Guru himself what? Shrotriyam. Shrotriyaha means the one who knows the Veda. Okay. So here at least the Vedanta, because here particularly we are going to study Vedanta, means the Guru has to have studied Vedanta traditionally, properly, so that the Guru himself has a parampara. Parampara is very important. Don't go to anybody who is apne aap. Those who are apne aap or those who have started a new parampara or something, you have to be little careful. They may not be able to teach properly. And even the teaching itself may be ashastriyam. It may not be in tune with what the Veda is revealing. So we have to be careful. Again, when you are going to learn Vedanta and if you are a proper mumukshu, you should not also get enamored by all these miracles and things like this. Even let us say somebody is doing some miracle and they are curing you of some disease. It doesn't make any difference, correct? You are still the same individual. You are going to die anyway. It has not solved your fundamental problem. But people fall for all these things. The greatest miracle is to teach you that you are the limitless. There is nothing better than that. Understand that. So if you go to a guru, there has to be teaching. It cannot be just some technique or anything. Techniques are good, maybe to prepare your mind, to calm your mind, maybe to make you qualified as a student. Any technique which helps you to make you a mature person, a calm person, which helps you to have a certain kind of a disposition of your mind is useful. You can learn that, but that alone is not good enough. Understand that. There has to be teaching, there has to be pramana vyapara. The guru has to be teaching. Only if you have teaching, then only you have jnana, and jnana alone is moksha. So you have to go to a person who will teach you, who will teach Shastra, and not only that, one who knows the Shastra and the methodology of teaching. So the guru has to know. Shrotriya means guru knows what the Veda is revealing. Okay, and the guru also knows the methodology, the sampradaya. So there is a sampradaya, there is a particular way of teaching, because here we are teaching something very subtle. So we use a methodology called Adhyaropa Apavada. Adhyaropa Apavada Bhyam Nishprapancham prapanchate. Like that there is a saying. So what cannot be elaborated or described easily, that is taught or elaborated to you using adhyaropa and apavada. Adhyaropa means deliberately superimposing something, and then apavada means negating everything afterwards. By this methodology, the teaching is done, and also the teaching has to be done carefully, properly with words.
Hey Jay,
Yeah.
what is the adhyaropa that's used? Like, can you give me an example of superimposing, teaching using superimposition?
Even every creation, even Upanishad talked about the Srishti Prakriya, let us say, that is all adhyaropa only. Because it will first show that Brahman is the cause of everything, correct? And then it will negate the effect itself. That is the apavada. Thereby the effect will become mithya and Brahman alone is satyam. So the premise of this Upanishad is what? By knowing that I as well know everything else, correct? I want to know that, by knowing which everything else is as well known. That is the question. So how to teach such a thing? Because we think there are many different things in this world to know. Is there a thing like that? Means Upanishad is first presenting what? It is doing adhyaropa, saying whatever you see here, all these things are an effect and the cause is Brahman. So when it says Brahman is the cause of all these things, it is actually adhyaropa. And then since Brahman is the cause alone is satyam, and all these things become mithya. That is the apavada.
Okay.
So this adhyaropa apavada alone, from using that only we can actually understand the teaching properly. And like this, this methodology of teaching is very important. That is what is called as sampradaya. And the
In the part play example,
Hmm?
in the part play example again, can you just explain how is the adhyaropa done there? The apavada part I think is clear.
The adhyaropa, when we say that something is the cause of a particular effect, we are superimposing the causeness, you can say, correct, being the cause. When I say Brahman is the cause of this entire world, then is Brahman really the cause of this entire world? There is a question, correct? Then we have to say that the effect is not at the same level of reality as the cause. So from its own standpoint, Brahman is not the cause of anything, because there is nothing else to be counted. But from the standpoint of the effect, Brahman is the cause of everything. So if you look at the adhyaropa, then when you say Brahman is the cause of everything, it is adhyaropa. Or when you say clay is the cause of pot, it's an adhyaropa. But if pot is only name and form and is mithya, in fact in your understanding of clay, there is no pot, correct? Clay is understood as clay. But in your understanding of a clay pot, there is always a clay has to be there. So that is what we are saying. The apavada is when you look at the cause as it is, disregarding the effect, then it is apavada. When you look at the cause as the cause of something, then it is adhyaropa. Is that clear? So like this adhyaropa apavada is done, so that then only we can actually account for the and what is the relationship between you, the world, Isvara, all these things also we have to account for. So the teaching accounts for all these things, so that there is clarity. So the one who knows all these things properly, one who knows what the Shastra is saying, And one who has a methodology to teach the Shastra is the Shrotriya. And Brahmanishta means one who himself or herself is established in this knowledge. Such a person.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Jay, I don't know if this is the right question even. When you say Pramanam, about the Pramanam and the Shabda Pramanam, even though the Shabda Pramanam is again through our Indriyartha only, it's entering us as an Indriyartha only, right? How is it explained that?
Correct. It may enter through your ears, but still it is revealing something. Correct. The meaning of the word reveals something. Correct. I say you have never seen Himalayas, so I say Himalayas is like this, like that, and all that I describe through words. So the ears only bring you the sound, but the meaning of the word is something else. Correct. Words themselves are a pramana there, not just the ear. Do you get it?
Okay.
So the meaning of the words are the important thing here, and they reveal to you much more than just the sound which you hear.
Okay. So why I got that doubt is we say
Of course, if you say like that, even Anumana also is based on Pratyaksha, correct?
Yeah.
So any inference you do, you have to say, you have to first see the smoke, and then you should have already an idea that wherever there is smoke, there is fire. And then you say, yes, now there is fire. So with respect to the fire, Pratyaksha is not a pramana. Understand that. The Pratyaksha is only revealing to you the smoke. Then we do inference and arrive at the fact that there is fire. Because wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire. Like that, there is an invariable concomitance is there. Similarly, words also, words can reveal to you different things which are not available to your immediate perception. And in that matter, they are the pramana. Particularly the words of the Veda. So let us say Veda is revealing to you there is Swarga. Now Swarga cannot be revealed by any other pramana, correct? Your ears are not revealing Swarga. The meaning of the Swarga word is important here. So that's what you have to understand. So we'll close it here today. We'll continue this next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnat
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamevavasishyate
Purnamevavasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Harihi Om Shri
Harihi
Gurubhyo
Om.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.